Okay, you guys, so this is freaking ridiculous. Take a look at this. This is box number 3 that I've received in the last couple of weeks. This is from my attorney in Beverly Hills. And if you take a look, he's gotten all these different letters from these different creditors, collection agencies. There's even a FedEx, and it just goes on and on and on with the amount of mail that I have here that came to him because of the template, the secret letter template from my attorney that I gave to you. Now, the reason that this is crazy and completely unacceptable is because I made it very clear in my instructive video on YouTube that you are supposed to use the letter as kind of a template and have your own attorney that you can get, whether it's an attorney you have, which many of you probably don't have an attorney and maybe can't afford an attorney, in which case you can go to Fiverr.com to get an attorney. So I'm going to explain a little bit more about exactly how this secret letter is supposed to work and how you can get access to your own letters, so then that way these letters aren't going into a black hole, because now your creditors are notifying my attorney, and unfortunately he's not going to be responding on your behalf because you did not retain him. Okay, so buckle up your seatbelts because I have a lot to cover in this very short video. All right, so going through all of this, the most notable one obviously is the FedEx. And then I have somebody who actually sent a card to probably one of their creditors. Actually, it was to the credit bureau, TransUnion. And then they had it sent back to my attorney because apparently you guys cannot follow instructions. Now, I don't want to be rude, and I'm just going to have a kind of a heart-to-heart conversation here because, listen, this is the reason why you're in financial demise right now. It's because you cannot follow directions. You don't want to take the steps, the time, the effort, and the energy to be able to do something correctly. You want to half-ass everything in life. And therefore now you find yourself in a situation probably in trouble with credit, probably on the verge of bankruptcy, probably having issues with maybe finding the right job or business that you can use profitably to be able to get yourself out of this financial calamity that you find yourself in right now. And none of that is going to change unless you start the process of really focusing in on doing things correctly, okay? Following step-by-step instructions. And if you didn't get it from the videos that I posted, which by the way, I posted a lot of videos about how to fix your credit, and if you didn't get it the first time, guess what? There's a replay button. Hit it and watch it the second time, the third time, the fourth time, because this whole credit stuff, to be able to fix your credit and repair your credit and build your credit at the same time, to be able to access the credit that you need, the unsecured credit, to be able to ultimately build wealth, that's very easy and very simple to do. But I've found over the years that those that are, how do I put this gently, are on the lower end of the IQ pool, gene pool, if you will, they don't want to follow instructions, okay? And it's probably not you I'm talking to specifically, but there's a lot of people out there that just want to half-ass everything. They want to slap everything together as fast as possible because they're in this raging hurry to be able to get someplace, and they're not willing to take the time and energy it takes to be able to write out the steps and do them with crossing every T, dotting every I correctly the way it's supposed to be done. So, unfortunately, my attorney is not opening any of these. You did not retain him in his services, so therefore he's not going to be responding to any of these creditors on your behalf. So just to be clear, when you fix your credit, always, always, always start with disputing everything with the 3 credit reporting bureaus. There's Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So everything that's adverse, meaning that everything that's negative on your current credit reports right now, you first and foremost write this step down, since a lot of you just simply do not want to follow instructions because you're in such a hurry. You're in a hurry to get to nowhere. You're in a hurry to bust through a dead end, to basically watch yourself fall off a cliff because you don't want to do anything correctly. So take the time to do this right. Step number 1 is to pull your 3 credit reports. I recommend you go to Experian.com, pull all 3 credit reports, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, spend the $39.95 to do it, get all 3 FICO scores as well. Now you have a starting point. So step number 1 is everything that's negative or adverse on your credit reports, write a letter, a physical mailed letter to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion all separately, so that therefore you should have 3 letters. And then you can use my credit templates, my credit dispute templates. I have the link in the description box below, right here. that you can utilize my free templates and you mail those physical letters, not disputing online. Do not do that, folks. It never works. It will blow up in your face. Don't be lazy. Physically mail these letters and make sure that you include to the credit reporting bureaus a copy of your driver's license. Ideally, it has your current address on it, especially if you've moved in the last 2 years, and at least 2 utility bills showing your current address. If you do not have current utility bills with your name, then the next best thing would be to show bills like your cell phone bill, maybe an insurance bill, maybe a car payment bill, something like that, or a credit card bill that shows your name and current address. Now, if you've moved within the last 2 years, make sure that in the very bottom of the letter you show your prior address within the last 2 years. That's going to be around the signature line area, okay? So, to be clear, first and foremost, dispute with the credit reporting bureaus first. Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, you're going to mail them a physical letter. I strongly urge you to use trackable mail, USPS priority, trackable mail, or you can use certified mail to make sure somebody signs for it so you know the exact date that they received it, because on the date that they receive it, guess what? That's when the 30-day clock begins. They have 30 days to complete the disputes that you have, and you literally will dispute everything that's negative. We're talking about charge-offs. We're talking about even a bankruptcy. We're talking about foreclosures. We're talking about everything that is negative, okay? Collection agencies are the easiest to have removed, but you always go after the credit reporting bureaus first. Write it down, because you can't half-ass this, man. This is your future. Your credit is everything these days, and if you half-ass it, guess what? You're not going to get anywhere, and you're going to end up making a big mistake, just like a lot of my students have, especially those that have been watching this video, these videos that I do on YouTube. All right, so once you do your first round of disputes, about 35 days will go by, you'll start to receive correspondence from the credit reporting bureau. Save every lick of paper you receive, everything, because if something falls off, by law, they cannot put it back on your credit report, even if another collection agency takes it over. It's illegal. So you want to be able to save that paper trail in case somebody else decides to buy the debt and put it back on your credit. As long as it's the same original creditor that they're collecting on behalf of, then you just show a piece of paper and say, hey, looky, you already removed this. You can't put it back on my credit report, even if it's a different credit collection agency. You cannot do that. That's illegal. And you have to save all of that paper to be able to get that removed immediately. So first and foremost, you have to have a good filing system. You should have, in the very least, a folder for Experian, a folder for Equifax, a folder for TransUnion, and you should also use a credit log as well. So then that way you can kind of show the dates and, you know, when you mailed things out, who you mailed it out to, what the response was, etc. And I recommend that you use that in an Excel spreadsheet log, okay? Listen, your future is on the line. Everything's about credit now, and if you don't fix your credit and start rebuilding it, you're going to be screwed if you're not already screwed right now, okay? So you need to do this correctly. Now, that's when I recommend you do the second round of disputes. So after the 35 days, if certain things don't come off, you go back to the credit reports and say what didn't come off, and then you start your second round of disputes. And I also urge you to do a third round. So all of this communication back and forth by way of physical mail needs to happen with Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, which are the credit reporting bureaus only. That's it. You only focus on them first. If that's not working, then and only then, after your third round of disputes, if things are still not coming off, then and only then can you contact the creditors directly. We're talking about the creditor or the collection agency, and you demand that they show proof of your debt. This is step number 2, proof of your debt, by way of, you know, some kind of statement, some kind of contract, some kind of agreement, okay? Because by law, they have to show you an agreement upon request. And if they don't have the agreement, or don't, you know, a lot of collection agencies simply do not have the agreement because, you know, they're in storage someplace or somewhere else, in which case you're off the hook, right? Because by law, you have the right to see that agreement. And so what you do is you send them a certified letter in the mail. All right, you do not offer up, again, write this down, do not put a copy of your bill in there, do not put a copy of your driver's license, do not do any of that. That's only for the credit reporting bureaus, which again are Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You do not put in a copy of your driver's license or copy of utility bills or anything for the creditor or collection agencies. You never do that, okay? So you basically send them a letter saying, you know, according to my records, according to my credit report, it's showing that I owe this debt. and I need to see proof of my agreement. I need to see proof. I need you to show me proof that there's some kind of agreements or some kind of account or some kind of something. Many times they will send you a statement. Well, anybody can whip up a statement on their QuickBooks, right? A statement is not a legal agreement. So you need to be on the lookout for an actual legal signed agreement by you that you signed, okay? Now, many times they'll either not respond or they'll respond with some statement. A statement is not proof of your account. Again, I can create a statement on my QuickBooks showing that you owe me $1 million. That doesn't mean that it's real, okay? Anybody can generate a statement on their computer. That's not a real legally binding agreement. You have the right to see your legally binding agreement. And if they don't have it, well, then it comes off the credit report, okay? But you have to send it by way of certified United States Postal Service mail, in which case, remember this green card I showed you? This was from one such of those communications, but instead they did it with TransUnion. You can do this with TransUnion, use one of these green cards. However, it's really not necessary. I like to use USPS Priority with a just a confirmation, delivery confirmation. That's fine when you're sending communication to the bureaus. When you're sending communication to the creditors or collection agencies, you should use this green card, but do not use my lawyer's information on the back. This needs to go to you. Your name and address needs to be on this. So then that way, when the United States Postal Service employee gets a wet signature here, they will pop this in the mail and you will receive this. This is proof that they received this, that they signed for your letter. Then you wait 30 days. They have 30 days to produce some kind of proof that the account is yours. If they fail, then you simply go back to the credit reporting bureaus with a copy of this card and a copy of the letter that you sent saying, hey, Experian, hey, Equifax, hey, TransUnion, guess what? I sent this to this creditor or this collection agency and I got this card, so I have proof that they received it. And this is the copy of the letter, and I demanded that they send me a copy of my agreement or some kind of proof that I have this account. And guess what? They didn't send me anything. They didn't send me anything. And so you need to now, by law, take this off my credit. All right? You always send them the copy of the card, not the actual card, because you need this for your file. All right? So that is the second step. The third step is then to bring in what I like to call the big guns, and that is to use my template from my attorney, not yours. You need to have your own attorney, which means that you need to find your own on either Fiverr or put somebody under retainer or something, which is going to be too costly for you in many cases. So just go to Fiverr.com, type in attorney services, and many times you will find an attorney that can offer up a letter like the one that I provided. Now, I will provide you with the letter in the description area. However, this is my attorney. This is just a template to be able to utilize all the verbiage that's on the template, right? And then you have your attorney, somebody on Fiverr for $50 to $100 who's an attorney who can create a letter for you. Just say, this is the letter I want, but it needs to be on your letterhead, okay? So that's where everybody seemed to screw up, and that's why I have a whole bunch of letters. In fact, here they are. And this is, like I said, the third box. And he's like, what do you want me to do with these? I'm like, well, you're going to have to throw these away because, these people didn't retain you. So, unfortunately, there's a whole box of letters. It's just like it would take me all day to go through this box plus the other two boxes that I got. I'm like, I'm not opening these because this is everybody else's legal stuff and it has nothing to do with me. But he was a little peed off, to say the least. So follow directions, okay? Because if you don't follow directions, if you continue going through life and you don't want to follow any instructions or any directions, then you're just going to constantly keep floundering about, being miserable, being broke, having no credit, having a low credit score. You're going to continue going through life basically being a loser if you don't want to follow instructions because you're in such a mad freaking hurry that you're not willing to actually go through the due diligence process and do things correctly by dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's. Why be in a massive hurry when that's not going to help you get to the point of success that you need to be able to get these things off your credit, to start the process of rebuilding your credit, and to ultimately get the FICO score that you need to be able to start the process of getting the unsecured credit that you want to use to build wealth for yourself or to start a business or to buy a business or whatever it is that you want to do, all right? So I don't mean to be that hard on you, but you got to follow instructions, otherwise you're never going to get anywhere in life, all right? So if you found that this content was useful, give me a nice thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel. There's much more to come. This is Monica Wayne signing off, and I will see you in the next video.